Good morning, everyone. My name is Matt Whiting. I'm Senior Project Manager for SV Rail.
Michael Zeidler, I'm Technical Director for Thurso and Contract Rep for SV Rail.
So, what is our presentation about? So this presentation is an outline of what SV Rail currently do. We've got sections on SV Rail itself, our investment, asset management, SV Rail firsts, our machine types, sustainability, and continuous improvement. What I'll do now is pass you over to Michael, who will go over the next couple of slides. Ooh, wrong way.
So a little bit about SV Rail. Our joint venture was established in 2004. Been working in partnership since then, introducing a lot of first-in-class technology to the UK. And by now, we believe we have the most capable, diversified, and the youngest fleet of on-track machines in the rail industry. Two of them you can see on the picture, 209 4x4s. Thurso AG, our parent company, is one of Austria's leading construction companies with international subsidiaries and contracts, and Babcock International, who manage, support and operate complex equipment and infrastructure throughout the UK and globally. Yeah. What we cover as the title of our presentation is from the Channel Tunnel HS1 infrastructure up to Thurso in north of Scotland, and basically covering all the routes on Network Rail's infrastructure.
So, as Michael highlighted, we deploy machines all the way across the UK. We've just celebrated our 10-year anniversary of working on High Speed 1, and there's some gentlemen over there from High Speed 1. Throughout the contract, we've utilised European gauge machines. So these included an 0932 4S and a BDS ballast regulator. We also supplied the next generation 09 4x4 4S machines across the East Coast, Northwest and Central. And typically we deliver 3,500 shifts per annum. So we feel that we have the most diverse fleet of machines working in the UK. 10 of those have got the DTS function. So we currently operate 3 regulators across the UK, 2 of them being the AFM 2000 and the other being a USB 5000. These machines typically regulate 800 metres per hour. The 2 AFMs are also fitted with a DTS. As highlighted in the slide, the AFMs can store 25 tonne of ballast on board. But what is interesting is the machines can also scan the levels of ballast in front of the machine, highlighting areas where there's a lack of ballast or too much ballast. What we have done in the past is we've scanned a long section of track and then reported on ballast levels in the area. Our cranes, again, our output is impressive. Along with conventional panel laying, we can also lay loose sleepers, 28 at a time, and we can also install piles.
Investment. Since our joint venture was formed, we have always aimed to get the newest technology into the market, and we've kicked off now 15 years ago with the 2 AFMs and the Cura 250 cranes to strengthen our offer on the market. And 4 years later, we had the chance to take over 4 used machines, the 2 first 09 3X machines that were in the UK, and 2 modern 08 4x4s. And we grew our contract fleet then. 3 years later, we took the opportunity to introduce the first 09 4x4 dynamic to the UK market, followed by the sister machine 3 years later. And for the contract that started in 2018, we placed an order for another 4 machines of those, which are now all working on the UK infrastructure. Earlier this year, we had the chance to take over 3 XI output machines from Network Rail. So we could rejuvenate our fleet once again. And the older 3X machines, one of them has been transferred over to the continent and is now working in Eastern Europe. Yeah, and based on the success of our 250 cranes, we had a collaboration with Kirov to optimize the original design and introduced the 250S in 2016, which features a movable counterweight to enable lifts in areas where you have restraints on the axle load.
So this slide is all about SB Rail first. So what I've done here is I've split this slide into 5 separate sections. As you can see from the time period starting in 2000, SB Rail consistently brought first to the UK rail market. As Michael said, this includes the Kirov Classic 250 crane in 2006 and the AFMs in 2007. The next major milestone was in 2014 when we introduced the first ever 09 4x4 4S to the UK market. One that we are proud of is the first ever S&C renewal handback of 125 mile an hour. This was achieved in 2017 using 2 of our 09 4x4s. So you can see from our previous slides, innovation drives our company. We thought out of the box back in 2016, and we made the conscious decision to implement an ISO asset management approach to the assets that we owned, operated and maintained. As far as I'm aware, I think we're the only OTM supplier who hold this ISO 55001 accreditation. So by implementing an asset management approach, we have improved the reliability of our fleet and improved efficiencies within the business. We also have a better understanding of all the risks, and we can make more informed decisions on maintenance strategies. What is very important in asset management is line of sight. So all staff from the MD down to a first year apprentice needs to understand the principles of asset management. So our line of sight pyramid starts at our asset management policy and feeds through all the other asset management documents. Interestingly, the ISO also classes staff as a very important asset, so people asset management plans are also in place. As I said, we started this process in 2016. So our asset management is driven by data. So year on year, our database of information just keeps on growing, which is validating all of our business decisions.
Yeah, just a quick overview or list of machines that we have available to the market in the UK, from the older 09 3Xs up top down to the 09 32 4S, which has been working on the high-speed 1 infrastructure for the last 10 years. And in the last column were the depots where the machines are working out of. And on this one, our fleet of ballast regulators and railway cranes we supply to industry.
So, as highlighted in the earlier slides, we first introduced the 09 4x4 back in 2014. We now operate 6 of these machines. So all 6 machines are fitted with Sprinter software. This is something that we've been pushing for a long time now, but still the industry refuses to use it. So what some of you might be asking is, what is Sprinter tamping? So Sprinter, or shortwave, or spot tamping is a process whereby shortwave geometry defects are removed by tamping. Conventional tamping designs one rail and puts the other rail to the cam that you specify. But Sprinter tamping is where you design each rail. So what you can do is tamper faults in the middle of a transition, whilst in conventional tamping, if you've got a reverse transition of 500 metres, you've got to tamp the entire 500 metres. But with Sprinter tamping, you can just tamp the fault. So this slide's just about our railway cranes. As you can see from the photo, there's no rope on our cranes. So all cranes I'll take a step back. We can use our cranes with a rope, but we choose to use the rotor head 95% of the time. So all our cranes are fitted with this patented rotor head technology. The arm enables rigid load attachment, it prevents sway, and it allows total control during lifting, movement, and placement. We feel that this can't be done by any other machine, both OTM or OTP in the country. So the following slide is just a short animation of the many differing options that our cranes give.
Switelski Babcock Rail has developed the Kirov KRC 250 multitasker rail crane into a truly multidiscipline machine with a series of innovative attachments. Currently, SB Rail operates 4 of these rail cranes across the United Kingdom. The robot arm is unique to SBE Rail. It's an ingenious device attached to the end of the crane's boom. It operates through hydraulically controlled pivots, providing complete control of tilt, rotation, inclination, longitudinal and vertical placement of loads. The KRC 500S, or tandem tensioning system, enhances track renewals by combining 2 cranes. This creates one twin jib rail-mounted crane capable of lifting a switch and crossing panel up to 41.5 tons, whilst working with the adjacent line open. Because of the robot arm, working under minimum overhead wire height of 4.2 meters is trouble-free. The crane can lift out track panels up to 60 foot in length, either over the buffers or from the adjacent track. The operation is under the total control of the crane operator and requires no intervention during lifting and loading operations by any other site operative. The design of the beam is such that the load is kept stable and level, ensuring placement is accurate and precise. The sleeper automatic relaying beam has been specifically designed as a genuine one-man operation to pick up and lay sleepers up to 28 at a time, far exceeding any other on-track plant option available. The beam is enabled by the unique robot arm and is a truly self-contained multi-purpose renewal system with an output of up to 320 meters per hour. Another development is the provision of high-output piling. After converting the crane, the robot arm is combined with a driving unit to form a powerful and versatile system, capable of installing up to 20 piles in a typical night shift and up to 50 piles in longer weekend possessions. The piles can be driven up to 10 meters away from the track, far exceeding on-track plant options. The cranes are suited to undertake a variety of structural works. Higher power, reach and versatility increase productivity and improve safety. Benefits include access and planned lifts in difficult locations, truly multi-lift capabilities from gantries to signalling cabinets. SB Rail. 2 companies, 1 team.
As everyone has to get their head around about how we make our business and our machines more sustainable. And as everybody knows, that every one of those machines is still fitted with 1 or 2 large capacity diesel engines, various types of gearboxes filled with oil, hydraulic pumps, axle drive systems, and all the many meters of pipe work and hydraulic hoses. And the service recommendations are that we have to change those oils quite often throughout the year, which is obviously a great cost to get new oils in, but it's also a large amount of waste oil produced in the process. So we have been using biodegradable panelin oil in the hydraulic system for many years now, which is obviously better should a hose burst, that it doesn't go into the water course and has damage there. But we are also sampling the oil regularly just to get a good idea of the state it actually is, and should it be required, we pump the oil through a big industrial kidney pump to remove any unwanted particles and water out of the system. Since that was quite successful for the hydraulic system, we spoke to Panelin and have started to replace the mineral oil in all other machine components across the fleet to the equivalent Panelin product. So for engines and gearboxes, donkey engines, you name it, and went over to a sample and analyze regime, so that we don't have to change it every 3-6 months, but have a good idea of what the state of the oil actually is, and save quite a lot on waste oil and costs so far. Other things we have been looking into, what we could do differently to before, is that we installed electric short supply for the machines, so that while we carry out maintenance in our depots, we do not have to run the main diesel engines, but basically just plug them in. Several of our machines have donkey engines or auxiliary engines, so that while we have waiting time on site, we can basically shut down the main big engine and keep the smaller engine going to supply electricity while we're waiting on site. And again, big fuel and exhaust noise emission savings. We have been looking into single engine operations because, for example, the AFNs have two identical engines, and under certain circumstances it is sufficient to operate only one of them, so that we again can save on fuel and produce less emissions with the machines. Another one that possibly everybody is looking into, we have been trialing electric cars and vans, and plan to transition to a fully electric road fleet until 2030.
So continuous improvement, to look into the future. Contractors wanting to bid for public works would have to pledge to be net zero by 2050 under new government rules, and Netherrail are actively seeking 75% of all suppliers and having a science-based target by 2025. The nature of our industry leads to the use of large diesel engines. This is something we need to address. With this in mind, our suppliers, as we saw earlier on, have brought the E3 machines to the market. This will help reduce our carbon footprint, but as you all know, there's lots and lots of areas where there isn't any overhead line, and also a lot of the time when we are in areas where there is overhead line, it's switched off because it's engineering works. So we feel that all areas within the railway need to think about how as an industry we can find solutions to this challenging problem, and we're open to ideas. So that's the end of our presentation. I'd like to thank Quattro for the video. Thank you.